urge all well-meaning people who no doubt care for the welfare of our children, the future of this country, to come out and donate. Most
the world must come together as one. There are people dying.
Oh, it's time to lend a hand to life. The greatest gift of all.
We can go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere is making a change. We all part of God's great big family, and it's true. We know love is all we need.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a better day, so let's start here. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, make a better day, just you and me.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a better day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own life. It's true, make a better day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a better day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own life. It's true, make a better day, just you and me.
Oh, send your heart, so they know that someone cares, and your life will be stronger and free.
We got the choice we're making. We're saving our own.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own life. It's true, make a better day, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a better day, so let's start it. To make a better day, just you and me.
Oh, send your heart, so they know that someone cares, and your life will be.
adúpẹ́ gidigidi fáwọn tó já ẹgbẹ́ yìí jẹ́. Kọ́láwọlé náà bẹ́kálẹ̀ ìlú àgbà ládùúgbò. Marketing Ahmed ló já ẹgbẹ́ olóbìnrin international. Àwọn arábí. Nígbà tá a ní tán mọ́rí àwọn ọmọdé ajá. Báwo lè ní wà ní ìbò tọ́kù náírà? Tí ó bá tọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta, màá tún wá kíní tó fi tẹ̀wé, màá wá wá. Òdodo kẹ́kẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ yìí o. Ó sì dá sí yìí. Náà má bẹ́ẹ̀ sí ọ. Nígbà tó wọ́n bá dé ègbó dáadáa, èmi jẹ́ àwọn ìlú ọ̀fun tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yìí. Èèyàn gidi ni. Mo jẹ̀ sí ìyàwó gómìnà wa tó jẹ́ olórí fẹ́kàrẹ̀sì nísìnyí. Ẹlẹ́wọ̀n àti gbogbo wa ṣe. Ojú òní tì wá. Wọ́n bá ti ń pè wá, a máa dáhùn. Àmọ́ bí sẹ́mi ìbá rí òní ìdíwá o. Ní èdè òní ìdíwá.
On Dr. Sridhar, because she's not only the chairman of NAO, she is also a prominent and eminent person in Africa.
We will continue to support you financially.
Thank you.
I assure you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we give our thanks first of all to God Almighty, who has made this day a success, because without Him, none of us would have been here. We thank Him for sparing our lives, for giving us resources, able to be present here this day.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this first day. The United Nations General Assembly has set aside the 8th of March of every year to celebrate the International Women's Day, which is yet another attempt to draw attention to the status and problems of the Nigerian women in particular, and women all over the world in general. The significance of this year's celebration should not be lost to all and sundry. 7 years after the end of the United Nations Decade for Women, 75 to 85, little has been achieved in terms of bettering the women's situation in all important spheres like equality, development, and peaceful coexistence. Although the decade was expected to highlight the problems facing women with a view to providing forum for discussing women's subordination and establishing a channel of communication for integration and development, a critical appraisal of the prevailing situation shows that women are yet to throw off the burden of discriminations accented by the male-favored political, economic, and socio-cultural values. In fact, this existing reality was one of the reasons that prompted the First Ladies of 64 countries to meet for 3 days last week in Geneva to have another serious look into the worsening situation of women the world over. The First Ladies must be commended really for coming together in that large number to continue the crusade for women. Particularly, their timely conference should be praised, for it will go a long way to create the right mood for this year's celebration, an indispensable productive function in every society. In our society, women make up more than 50% of our population. Yet, they are not in the mainstream for development. In fact, questions are being asked as to why all efforts have not been channeled towards creating the enabling environment for this group to make their indispensable contributions to societal development. For it is known that there is a one-to-one relationship between women's contributions and sustainable development in any society. Once women are left out of development, and this is true, the development suffers. World peace. A nation that desires genuine development must push women to the mainstream of all aspects of activities. Through pragmatic education, good and adequate medical care, self-actualization, and elimination of all forms of political, economic, and social-cultural discriminations, the loss of women can be greatly improved. It was in the realization of this and the United Nations intention that the federal government of Nigeria in 1982 established a committee on women and development in the Federal Ministry of Social Development, Youth and Sports. To further ensure that adequate political will was given to issues relating to women, the National and State Commissions for Women were established by Decree 30 of 1990 by the federal government. The ultimate aim of establishing these commissions is to ensure a two-way communication between government and the women. Gentlemen of the press, may I at this point crave your indulgence to intimate you with the objectives of the Women's Day celebration and the programs of the activities lined up for the week. The objectives of the Women's Day celebrations are threefold: to stimulate actions that improve women's civic, political, cultural, social, and economic education. 2. To create awareness of factors that enhance women's participation in national development programs. And thirdly, to explore ways and means of how women can be empowered to contribute positively towards national development. This year's celebration begins now with this press briefing, and it ends next Sunday. Besides this press brief conference, other activities are as follows. On Wednesday, 4th of March, there will be both television and radio discussions with the theme Empowerment of Women. On Friday, 6th of March, there will be a Jumat service at the Secretariat Mosque with the Deputy Governor in attendance. On Saturday, 7th of March, there will be a one-day symposium stroke exhibition holding at the Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation Auditorium. At the symposium, we have topics such as empowerment of women through the electoral processes, women and environment today and the future, with emphasis on physical environment, women and environment today and the future, with emphasis on social environment, and fourthly, empowerment of women through Better Life program. We will be having eminent personalities to deliver papers. The wife of the governor, who is also the chairperson of the Better Life, Mrs. Dr. Otedola, is to be the special guest of honor at the symposium. Also at this symposium, there will be an exhibition of various products made by our women. These include raffia works, shoes, metal works, photographs of women achievers, as well as literature and publications by them will also be on display. On Sunday the 8th, it will be rendered off, the ceremonies will be rendered off with a church service at the Archbishop Vining Memorial Church of Akin Jobi Street, Ikeja, at 10 a.m. After the service, there will be a tree planting ceremony at the new Secretariat Auditorium, Alausa. The Deputy Governor, the wife of the Governor, the Secretary to the State Government, and others will plant some of these trees. While using this opportunity to invite all the members of the press to join the women in celebrating this year's International Women's Week, I also enjoin you as the agenda setters for the society to always give women issues support and priority. As the enlightened members of the society, I believe that whatever you do in terms of publicity to issues about women will go a long way to affect negatively or positively the nation's overall development, including women. I trust you will live up to your responsibility of making it a positive development for Nigerian women and Lagos women in particular. Finally, I thank you for honoring our invitation, and I look forward to your continued support in the future programs of the State Commission for Women. God bless.
You said something to the effect that in spite of this resolution at the United Nations, that women's law should be better, that what we still find is that they are still relegated to the background, and there's no need to kind of improve their laws. Now, if we put the efforts in Nigeria, if we consider the efforts in Nigeria system, will you say that assertion is true?
Yes. Look at the federal cabinet. Where is the woman? Why we are not saying that they are not giving us the chance? Because we are really pushing, not necessarily being very gracious to us. But that Nigerian women now are really pulling their weight. But we still find it ridiculous that we don't have women in the federal cabinet. This is one of the things we are going to do.
There's one woman in the women
through the electoral process. The empowerment of women through the electoral process. And so far we've seen that women are not getting anywhere. I don't know how you going to achieve it.
This year we are going to broaden our education for the women in this aspect. We are going to go all out to ensure, to let them know what they stand to lose by not voting for women when they come out as candidates. And by the time we have the next election, I may not be talking of the president, but nothing is impossible for God to do. You will see that there will be a lot of change in the voting pattern when it comes to women.
He personally has honored all our invitations. Please give him a round of applause. One of us, and we are proud that she has recently been promoted to the post of Director General, Mrs. Abike. She's representing Star Michael of Tojola. She's representing our country, Alaja Aderoju Ojikutu. And she's representing Professor Abasego. And then she's come in her own person. So she's ranked 4 ranks of her country. On the Vice Chancellor's left is your national president, Deaconess Clara Oshino. I know there are many senior, older members here. Please, can you come to the next person to be recognized as time goes on, but let me do that quickly because she's our auntie and our mother and a former address. So we'll call on the national chairperson, Deaconess Clara Oshinu, to welcome all of us.
I appreciate your love.
Held workshops and conferences on political participation, political accountability, voter education for Nigerian rural women, women and leadership, women politics and development, and now campaigns and elections. After all we have done in the past, you will expect that some Nigerian women should be winning elections at all the different levels of government. But alas, this has not been so. We have therefore been very worried and realized that we have to intensify our effort in order to attain the goal we set ourselves for the past decade. that is, to empower women politically. As we gather here this morning, we are also celebrating the International Women's Week, which has as its theme the empowerment of women. This falls within our area of operation and within our aims and objectives, some of which can be briefly described as follows: to promote education of women at all levels, to stimulate public opinion on women affairs, and to watch any legislation affecting the rights of women, to create a platform for the objective study of contemporary problems in our society, and is open to all female graduates who, in appreciation of all the opportunity they had at the university, urge states to put women's political rights on an equal footing with men's, and to give women equal opportunity to serve in public life. Thirdly, there was the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women in 1979, with over 100 ratifications to date, which urges governments to ensure that women have the opportunity to hold public office, to participate in the formulation and implementation of government policy. United Nations Decade for Women, which emphasized the fact that women were still inadequately represented in national and international political processes. It suggested that efforts be intensified to overcome that the role of women in national liberation struggles should be expanded to allow their equal participation in the nation-building process afterward. The Federation of University Women, IFUW, whose logo you find on the program, represents us at the United Nations, while our Nigerian Association holds the chair of the Federation of University Women of Africa. With these bodies to report and to
reveal my delight at the opening ceremony, and if I were to show how much I agree with the welcome address of your President, I would just have said here that I endorse all she has said and will resume my seat. Welcome you all on behalf of the Nigerian Association of University Women and on behalf of the entire UNILAG community. Welcome you to the opening ceremony of the three-day workshop, three-day training workshop on campaigns and elections. In particular, I would like to send a message to the Governor of Lagos State. We publicly congratulate him on his recent victory at the polls and wish him successful tenure in Lagos. The theme of this workshop is election, campaigns and elections. And there seems to be a lot of worry about women and power distribution in the country, or political power distribution, because we have to be careful. Women are powerful and they share different dimensions of power. Very sensitive to power structure. They can analyze, they do understand, even more than men do, the economic meaning of power distribution. And that is why they are in the forefront of our economy today. It is a fact that they compete effectively with men in several areas. Is the low participation in the various power distribution processes. And that is what the Nigerian
honor accorded me by the Nigerian Association of University Women in asking me to speak before this distinguished audience. This gathering here today, composed as it is of university women specialized in many different disciplines, is a powerhouse. It is for women's advancement. When the association asked me to choose a topic for my address this morning, I felt relieved because I immediately decided to make the choice by elimination and quickly ruled out anything to do with Nigerian politics, campaigns, and elections. In doing that, I was very confident that my host would agree that that is a field which is completely outside my realm and my competence to discuss, and so will not touch that area at all. The thoughts I wish to share with you are on women's education as a key to their advancement. Lest there be feelings of disappointment on what may appear at face value to be an irrelevant topic, I wish to emphasize on the outset that I see education as an indispensable tool for women's advancement in all their endeavors. That is, be it in politics in Nigeria, Guatemala, or France, be it in commerce and industry, the professions, medicine, the media, or even at much lower levels where we are talking about reading labels on bottles or keeping a record of the day's sales from the market. Women's education is key to their empowerment. Although all statistics today show that women have far less access to education than men, the situation, according to legend, has not always been that way. Mythologies around the world have ascribed to women the supreme literary achievements of creating alphabets and inventing language. Goddess of the Logos, mother of the gods, one with creation, thou art intelligence, the mother of science, unquote. The world's first novel, The Tale of Genji, was written in the 11th century by a woman, Lady Murasaki in Japan. Queen Isis has been credited with giving Egyptians the alphabet, as did Medusa on Hercules in Greece. The center of world of science and learning until patriarchal dictates.
The logical necessity for at least two reasons. First, the timetable for political activities for 1992 has already been announced, and it will appear that the only item on that timetable is elections. Elections have been slated for various times during the year into the highest level of government in Nigeria, that is the National Assembly and the Presidency. While the real elections will not be until December, the preparatory stages, especially the primaries, which will determine the party candidates, are already scheduled to begin from May 1992. In a sense, therefore, the organizers of this workshop must be commended for the scientific identification of the need to sensitize their target audience, that is
passed. The National Commission for Women is therefore particularly happy at this initiative by NAUW because it is doing what it feels should be done. And NAUW, within the past few years, has shown so much interest and energy in the political education of women and the attainment of political power. On behalf of the National Commission for Women, therefore, I'd like to congratulate the association, and I'd like to say that we look forward to the results and recommendations of this workshop.
Agbalade Otedula could not be here. he had wished to be here, but state matters had prevented him, so he has sent his apologies. He has sent me to read his address. As the MC said earlier, that I'm here wearing almost 4 caps. Here to represent the governor, to represent the deputy governor, and to represent the secretary to the state government, and in my own capacity as a member of the association. I will only be reading the governor's statement and make some side comments as a member of NOW. First, to deliver the address of the governor. The chairman of the occasion, the generous landlord of NOW, who is also the vice chancellor of this university, and also my brother, Professor Nuruddin Alao. My former deputy governor, Mrs. Latifa Okuno, who was also my elder sister at the Methodist Girls High School. My former commissioner for information, who is here, Mrs. Modupe Adeogun. Our very, very senior member of the association, Lady Ademola. Members of the press. I read. I was indeed delighted when I received your invitation to be the special guest of honor at the opening session of this training workshop. I was also flattered by the comments contained in the tentative program, which read inter alia. New civilian governor who had very impressive and successful campaign strategies and success. However, due to previous commitments, I will not be physically present among you, hence my being represented. I congratulate and commend the organizers of this workshop for their doggedness and determination to arouse the dormant potentials of the women folk in affecting for good the focus of Nigerian politics, as evidenced by the various conferences and workshops they have organized on politics. Although I am not unaware that the immediate target audience of the association is not the grassroots woman, but I feel strongly that efforts should be made to translate ideas emanating from workshops, seminars, and conferences into vernacular so as to engender political consciousness among those who are not so illiterate, but who, we politicians, find very useful and dependable in political campaigns. It is my considered view that the poor performance of women in the last gubernatorial and assembly elections is not unconnected with the fact that politics in Nigeria is not issues-oriented. Religious and blind loyalty to political tendency predominates in our body politic, the women will find it difficult to break through politically. The only way open for our women folk is to play a major role in the political arena, is to direct the focus of our politics to issues mainly to the scheme within the Social Democratic Party. Such commentators overlook the fact that my campaign strategy was personality-oriented. That is, I asked to be given a chance to replicate my achievements in the social and business spheres at the state level. Realize that the women folk constitute an electoral asset that has to be cultivated idea, but deliberately and consciously nominated a woman as my running mate. In essence, my campaign strategy of asking the electorate to judge the competing candidates on their individual ability and the cultivation of a vital segment of the electorate projected my candidature as a viable alternative. From personal experience, I strongly believe that the easiest way for a woman politician to make an inroad into the male-dominated political arena is to highlight the gender-specific issues like daycare services for working mothers, elastic working hours for women, longer maternity leave, provision of neighborhood recreational centers, efficient urban transportation, tax relief for women, inheritance practice which discriminates against women, to mention a few. These and other issues would no doubt arouse the interest of women in politics, as it would excite them to the possibilities which politics presents to improve the quality of life and reduce the tedium of combining motherhood and formal work without supporting social services. Since politics is a game of numbers, the more women are actively involved in politics, the more visibility and consensus their representatives will have in policy, direction, and ultimately in political leadership. Now, I would like to throw some challenges to your association. 1. That you should groom from among you more capable politicians who will be partners in progress in the running of the affairs of this great country. 2. To stress the need for you to work together as a team right across the whole country. 3. That you identify and make use of the talented leaders among you. And 4, for you to extend this training to the grassroots women nationwide. This challenge, I understand, is already being embraced by the National Commission for Women, which I must admit has complemented well the Better Life program. Men all over will watch women's empowerment in this country with keen interest in the years ahead. With these challenges, to all the women in this room, and to the men who support them, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to declare this workshop open. I wish you a very fruitful and successful week of training and a happy International Women's Week celebration. Thank you. Well, I have very few to add, and all that has been said so far. But we know that when it comes to number, the men cannot stand by us. When it comes to mobilization, and when you go out on public enlightenment, it is the women you see in great number. And thus, sky is the limit, but unfortunately, we are at the architect of our own making. For our destiny is in our hand. Because I don't want to believe that there are still many men who today are holding any woman back, their wives, from accepting any political or socio-economic appointment. But when it comes to pre-election, we find our women voting for the people within their own gender. The reasons are very, very obvious. We are full of petty jealousies. We are indifferent to the upliftment or development of our gender. Because even in organizations where women dominate, we see the type of remarks we make about members of the executive. So this workshop is a food for thought. Looking through the different papers presented and all that has been said today, we have everything to ourselves to go home and think about. Thank you.
Èmi ti gbé Olúwa ka iwájú mi nítorí tó wà yọwọ́ ọ̀tún mi a kì yóò ṣì mí nípò. Náà ni inú mi ṣe dùn tí ogo mi sì yọ ara mi pẹ̀lú yóò sì ní ìròyìn. Torí wọn kì yóò fi ọkàn mi sílẹ̀ ní ipò òkú bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọn kì yóò jẹ́ kí ẹni mímọ́ rẹ kí ó rí ìdìbàjẹ́. Yóò fi lọ́nà ìhàn mi níwájú rẹ ní eékún ayọ̀ wà. Ní ọwọ́ ọ̀tún rẹ ní dídùn inú wà títí láéláé. Olúwa fún olóògbé ìbídùn Adébọ̀wálé ní ìsinmi àìlópin yóò jẹ́ kí mọ́lẹ̀ rẹ kó mọ́lẹ̀ sí lára. Olúwa wípé èmi ni àjíǹde àti ìyè, ẹni tí ó bá gbà mí gbọ́ bí ó tilẹ̀ kú síbẹ̀ yóò yè, ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá sì ń bẹ láàyè tí ó sì gbà mí gbọ́ kì yóò kú mọ́ láéláé. Islam àṣàyàn sáwọn fún ìsìnkú mrs madam ìbínú adébọ̀wálé àwọn nínú ìwé sáwọn orin dábìlì orí àádọ́rùn-ún àpá ẹsẹ̀ mẹ́wàá tó ṣáájú psalm 9 àti bí a tó dá ilẹ̀ ọ̀hún ayé àní láti ayérayé wọlé ọlọ́run tó sọ ènìyàn bí ìbàjẹ́ tó sì wí pé ẹkún padà wá ẹ̀yìn ọmọ ènìyàn nítorí pé nígbà tí ẹgbẹ̀rún ọmọ tó bá kọjá lé ojú rẹ bí àná ni ó rí àti bí ìgbà ìṣọ́kan dé òru òun kó wọn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé nínú iṣan mi wọ́n dàbí òòrùn ní kùtùkùtù wọ́n dàbí koríko tí ó dàgbà sókè ní kùtùkùtù ó lé àwọ̀ lára ó sì dàgbà sókè lé àṣálẹ́ àgé rẹ̀ ó sì rọ̀. Nítorí àwọn àti èpè nípa ìdínú rẹ àti nípa ìdínú rẹ ara kò rọ̀ wá. Òtítí ẹsẹ̀ wa kalẹ̀ níwájú rẹ ẹsẹ̀ ọkọ̀ wa bẹ nínú ìmọ̀lẹ̀ ojú rẹ nítorí ọjọ́ wa gbogbo yípo tọ́ nínú ìdínú rẹ àwọn àdó ọjọ́ wa bí àlá bí àrọ́ àádọ́rin ọdún ní ọjọ́ wa. Bí ó ti ṣe pé nípa ti agbára tí wọ́n bá tó ọgọ́rin ọdún agbára wọn làálàá òun ìbìnújẹ́ ni. Nítorí nísinsìnyí ni yóò gé kúrò ọwọ́ sì fò lọ.
Nítorí àwọn pé bí ilé àwọn wá ti ayé pawó wà nílé kan láti ọ̀dọ̀ lọ́rùn ilé ìdáàbò tọwọ́kọ́ tí ayérayé nínú àwọn ọ̀hún. Nítorí ìdòdó àwọn gbé wọn nílé wọ́n ti fẹ́ kí láti fi ilé wa láti ọ̀rọ̀ wọ̀ wá tó bá ṣe pé a ti wọ̀ wá ní aṣọ a kì ó bá wa ní ìhòòhò ìdòdó wa ti ń bẹ nínú àgọ́ yìí ike ìrora nítòótọ́ ẹrù pa wá kì í ṣe nítorí káwọn dáhùn pé ìṣe aláìwòsàn wọ́n dáre wọ̀ wá ní aṣọ kí èyí tó lè gbé ara kíkú mi jẹ́ tó ṣe wá fún nǹkan yìí lọ́dọ́rùn ẹ̀dọ́ sì fi àkóso ẹ̀dùnkún wa lọ́sùn. Ìlú náà wọ́n ní ìgboyà ní ìgbà gbogbo wọ́n sì mọ̀ pé nígbà tí àwọn abẹ ilé nígbà a kò sí ọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀dọ́rùn nítorí pé nípa dàgbọ́ ní àwárí ní ṣe nípa ìrí mo ní àwárí ìgboyà wọ́n sì fẹ́ kí á kúkú ti inú ara kúrò láti lè wà ní ilé lọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́run. Nítorí náà àwa rí pé tó a bá wà ní ilé àti bí yàtọ̀ sí kí àwa tó lè jẹ́ ní ìjọba àgbẹ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀. Nítorí pé gbogbo wa kò lè ṣàgbọ́ta hàn níwájú ìfẹ́ ìdájọ́ Kristi kí olúkúlùkù kó lè gba nǹkan wọ́n yìí tí ó ṣe nínú ara. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí èrè tó ti ṣe ìbáàṣe láṣẹ búburú wáyé ẹ̀dá tí ó lẹ fún oṣù títà rẹ̀ tó gbà tẹ̀lé wọn. A ó kọ orin 237
Yorùbá ní mo fún náà sẹ́mi ìwé rẹ̀ ti lẹ́wà tó nílẹ̀ mọ́ láti jẹ́.
Madam Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá àti màmá wa ṣáájú màmá wa Ọ̀tẹ́dọ́lá màmá wa Madam Rasaki mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ kí n pé ẹ̀ka pọ̀ sínú ilé olúwa wa ní lóòtítọ́ ọmọ ló máa ń mú ènìyàn mọ ìlú kan tàbí léèrè ọlọ́run kan lọ́ba tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó yẹ pé kò tẹ́tí máa bí léèrè pé òṣìṣẹ́ báyìí náà mo kí n pé ẹ̀kọ́ aráfẹ́ra bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn ẹgbẹ́ Better Life for Rural Women and Rural Dwellers pé ẹ̀kọ́ àṣẹ̀yìndé deputy rural leader yín o ọlọ́run máa rò ní ṣe ní tẹ̀lé àti gbogbo ẹbí ará ìjọ àti National Council for Nigeria tí arábìnrin wa pé ọdún mélòó ló yẹ ká gbé láyé ká tó kú ẹlòmíì lè sọ pé bàbá lè pé 70 ìtò bá kù tó bá táyì ní ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọlọ́run àti ọmọdé lè pè é ọmọdé àwọn abú ní ọgọ́fà ọdún. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tó gbé ọgọ́fà ọdún láyé nígbà tó gbé ojú rẹ̀ máa rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wa àti ìwà wa ló lè ní. Torí náà olúmọ lè jẹ́ kí olókùn wà kápú nígbà tí yóò dára fún wa. Ikú ni ikú jẹ́ ẹlẹ́kà mú ọkàn kúrò pé irú ikú olókùn alágbádá yìí. Àjọkí ni àtẹ pé ikú gbogbo alágbára ikú kò sí ẹni tí ó lè láì kú ṣùgbọ́n kí ni tí èmi àti rẹ̀ tàbí dára kí ni tí a fẹ́ ṣe tàbí kọ́ máa gbé ní ayé sọ lẹ́yìn wa wípé ní ìgbà ayé rẹ̀ kò ṣe báyìí. a gbọ́dọ̀ kú táwọn sọ pé àwọn ìkú ìṣe ìrọ́ ni ṣùgbọ́n kò sí ẹni tó mọ ìgbà tó yóò kú tàbí àkókò tí yóò kú. Àwọn ọmọ ẹni àwọn kò sí àwọn olóró tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ náà tó bá kù irú ìwà olóró sílẹ̀ tó máa sọ pé àwọn nínú orí lọ. Nínú ìwé ní wàásù ó sọ fún wa ní orí ìkíní lájẹsẹ̀ kẹrin ó ní ìran kan ń lọ ìran kan ń bọ̀ ayé dúró láéláé. Tí a bá ń wo ìwé history àmàgbọ́ 22 AD 32 BC ó tó di ká ṣe wá wọ 199 something yìí ẹwọ àwọn ẹran tó ti ń bọ̀ láti ìgbà náà
oníwàásù ní èrè tí ó wà nínú gbogbo wàhálà ọmọ ènìyàn tó di lábẹ́ ọ̀run tó sì pàdánù ẹ̀mí rẹ̀. Èrè tí ó wà nínú gbogbo iṣẹ́ tó ṣe tí ò sí àkọọ́lẹ̀ rere kọjá ìsọ nípa ẹ̀. Tó dẹ̀ sọ pé ó mọ̀ ẹ̀ nígbà ó mọ̀ ẹ̀ láwo. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí a ń bá ara sọ lónìí, Adébọ̀wálé ìbínú bọ́lá ń bá sọ, ara wa ta Adébọ̀ ìlànà sọ fún. Ìyátájọ́ òkú ìsílẹ̀ sí kákan sí tó ń káàkiri padà láì sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹlòmíì á ti bẹ̀ ayé padà fún ìwà àbúrò tó ń lórí pé òun láti rántí pé ìjọ kan ń bọ̀. Ìwọ tó ń sunkún ẹ tó kú tí a ò sunkún tiẹ̀ náà. Iṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún wa láti ṣe. Pàápàá jùlọ ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń dárò, ǹjẹ́ ìdárò nípa ní afẹ́nimọ lórí ẹ̀mí àwọn iṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún wa láti ṣe. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹlòmíràn wọ́n ní àwọn sin Ọlọ́run. Àwọn ọ̀nà láti lè sin Ọlọ́run tí ìsìn Ọlọ́run wa tó lè jẹ́ ìtẹ́wọ́gbà ní ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run òun nìyí. Ìyá ikú ti lọ ìlú bàbá wọn. Nínú kùbí jẹ́ ẹ̀fẹ́ gbà tí tó wà lọ́kọ́ sí ẹni yẹn. Àbí àwọn ọmọ yìí wọ́n ti dé ọmọ orúkọ kí ni ìrànwọ́ ká fẹ́ ṣe fún wọn? Torí ẹnu ti sọ pé ẹ̀yìn òkú yẹn dà.